Good morning, Unity of Sarasota. How you doing out there, everybody? All right, well, I'm going to do a song, but and they will have the words up there for you, but frankly, I take a little bit of liberty with this one. They're there for you to see the words if you're visual, and the ones that are not visual, you can listen. And
because it's not easy. I have finally succumbed to all the requests to type up the lyrics so that you can read them while you're listening to them. And sometimes they'll pretty much match, and sometimes he will take artistic license, so
or just
bear
plain
with.
mess up.
We'll let you know when and if you sing.
By the way, there's a position opening up for someone to put the words on the computer. So you're welcome to give your time, talent, and treasure, which you'll hear more about in just a few moments. But first, we're going to hear some Van Morrison, which I love this song, absolutely love it. Beautiful vision, stay with me all of the time. Beautiful vision, stay on my mind. mind with your beautiful vision. Mystical rapture, higher than ecstasy. Beautiful vision, don't ever separate me from your beautiful vision. In the darkest night, you are shining bright, yeah. You are my guiding light. You show me wrong from right. Beautiful vision, stay ever on my mind. Beautiful vision, stay with me all of the time with your beautiful vision. In the darkest night, I said you are shining bright. You are my guiding light. Show me wrong from right. Yeah, show me wrong from right. Show me wrong from right. Beautiful vision, stay with me all of the time. Beautiful vision, stay with her on my mind with your beautiful vision. I can make it. I can make it with your beautiful vision. I can make it. I can make it with your beautiful vision.
Thank you. Rob Satori.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Susie Shadle. I welcome you to Unity of Sarasota, where a beautiful vision is always unfolding. And so you are part of that vision. Know that. Unity of Sarasota is a beacon of light and love, opening minds, touching hearts, and transforming lives. Every single one of us is that, and because of it, that's who we are as spiritual community. So own that you are a beacon of light and love, opening minds, touching hearts, and transforming lives. And do that just not on Sundays, but every single day of the week, 24/7, even when you're sleeping. Deal? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You get a gold star. I think if we embrace this idea with enthusiasm, meaning in theos, with the energy of God, that we have the possibility of this becoming a reality in our individual and collective lives, and we will have done good while we were here. So I'm serious about it. I know we say it every week, and it becomes like the prayers we learned when we were little kids and we forgot what they were, and unless we say them really fast, we can't even remember the words. I don't want that to happen to this. Take it seriously, please, because this is my intention that we do this. This is not the talk, by the way. This is just the prelim. But I'm serious. I think this is a beautiful vision. Hello. And I think we should be it. If you disagree, please see me after school. I'll change your mind. We are, at Unity of Sarasota, an inclusive spiritual community that embraces empowering and life-affirming practical spirituality for richer living right here, right now, in our individual and collective lives. That is who we are, and that is how we can unfold our lives if we so choose and believe. We join with our unity movement worldwide in creating a world that works for all. So our word of the day, by the way, the daily word is harmony. So we can include everybody in the harmony of that idea of a world that works for all. Another thing I'm deadly serious about, guys. It's not just a phrase to me. I believe we have the possibility of creating and experiencing that in our lifetime. But we can't do it alone, but together we can do everything. So, once again, this is not the talk. This is the second prelim. Okay. If you happen to be with us for the first time as a newcomer or a guest, I would invite you to stand, and please remain standing for just a moment. We like to find out where people visit us from. Yay. Scott is our board president, our board member of the day. He has a gift for you. He's got a packet of information as well. The gift is a shell necklace. The shell necklace, of course, is indicative of the beautiful beaches here in Florida. Each shell represents the love that we are individually, and when we string it together into a necklace, it becomes a community of love of which you are now a part. So you also received a packet of information about unity. There's a welcome card clipped to the back. We'd love it if you'd fill that out and leave it in the offering plate or take it to the welcome table in the fellowship hall. I know you're not still standing, but back here, where are you visiting us from? Excellent. Welcome home, Sarasota. And how about here in the purple? Where are you visiting from? Where? Newport Richey? So Newport Richey to Sarasota now. So welcome home to you as well. Excellent. And I want to welcome all of you who are bringing your energy here in person with us. And also I want to welcome all of those folks that are joining in and bringing their energy to us on our live stream, which is on our website at unityofsarasota.org. So let's wave to all those folks. And know that if you need to miss an in-person service, you can always go on the website, hit the services tab, click down to the service you want to watch. You can watch it live, or you can watch the recording later. You can also watch a recording on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. So you never have to be disconnected in any way, shape, or form. You couldn't do it if you wanted to, so you may as well join in.
We're on YouTube, too? I didn't know that.
Pardon?
We're on YouTube?
We're on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, good.
Have been for quite a while.
I didn't know that.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
I thought it was his Vimeo. Good.
So, what I do want to say is, however you may be joining us, whether it's live and in person or it's through the ethers, we're overjoyed to have you with us because you make the journey that we take so much more interesting when we all journey together. Wherever you may be in your spiritual life, you are most welcome here because, once again, all of our sharing of our spiritual journey is also something that enhances our individual journeys and our collective journey together. So welcome to all of you. It's wonderful having you celebrate with us, however you may be doing that today. I do have a few invitations for your participation. There are lots of ways that you can get involved here and really feel yourself part of the community. Today, after service, we have actually Stephanie Slavin and Betty McQueen. Stand up, please, if you would. They will be thank you. They will be completing the 3-week class that they started on how to master prosperity. And that will, for those of you who are in the class, please go to A and B immediately after service, and your lunch will be served in there. And then come back here at 12:15 for the class, because we are taping it so that others can watch it later, so that we're recording it for prosperity for posterity. So, come on, that was pretty good. Come on. Sunday morning. I mean, come on, that was quick. All right. So and once again, I want to thank Betty and Stephanie for their progressive art, where it was really collaborative art. Somebody started a piece, passed it on. That person started a piece, passed it on, and so it just went round and round. And I'm led to believe those works of art are on display in A and B. Is that true? Excellent. So it's a collaborative artwork. So that was a fun thing to do. What we've got coming up, you can go to the next slide. This coming Friday night, barring Ian showing up, you know Ian, the hurricane, we've got a poetry night. So it'll be an opportunity to share some of your favorite poetry that you've either written or that you've read that you love. So it's an opportunity to share poetry, which I happen to think is a very spiritual experience. So come Friday night, unless Ian decides to share his poetry. All right? And stay tuned, because there's something fun and different every Friday night. We also have coming up on October 1st, Saturday.
My birthday, you mean?
Your birthday?
Oh, no, the pet blessing, okay.
Yeah, it's your birthday. So if you come by on all fours, we'll bless you. I can't wait to put a collar on him. That's good. So we've got the pet blessing. Reverend Amy leads that up, because she is the heart of pets. Let me tell you what, she's a pet crazy person. Anyway, we do a wonderful pet blessing here. That's on Saturday, October 1st, so that's coming right up. And even if you don't have a pet, you should come by, because it's really fantastic. The energy that you feel and the love and the fun and the joy that you feel from those pets will carry you through the rest of the year. So come on by, borrow your neighbor's pet or just whatever, put a drawing. If you have a pet that has passed or a pet that doesn't do well socially, you can bring a picture and we'll bless the picture, okay? So participate in that. It's really kind of fun. Also, coming up in October, we have John Stringer coming back. He'll be doing the Sunday service and a concert afterward. On the 16th, he's going to be doing some private healing sessions, I think Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that week as well. Some of you experienced him when he was here, I think a year or so ago. The following Sunday, we have Bob Baker and Pookie Lee will be with us doing the Sunday service music, and then they will be doing a workshop on abundance that includes affirmations and music. So come on by for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. They're kind of a fun bunch, those two. And then finally, I want to thank, if you were here yesterday helping with the buildings and grounds and preparing us for Ian, please stand up and be acknowledged. If you were here yesterday, thank you. It was a lot of work pulling things in and getting things, battening down the hatches just in case. What I also want to say, Bella, come on up here for a second as well. What I also want to say, a couple more things. One, I want to acknowledge Bella, and I'm going to acknowledge her even bigger pretty soon when we do the grand opening of the brand new porch outside the bookstore. I'm going to tell you more about that later. She's been doing a lot with me to make it fabulous. But she was here yesterday as well. But here's the really important thing, guys. If Ian hits, we're going to need people afterward to help clean up debris and get things ship-shape again. If Ian doesn't hit, we're going to need help from people afterward to put things back where we hid them. Okay? So please, please, please help. Bella, tell them why you help so much.
We had so much fun, and we had a chance to get to know each other, and we laughed and shared stories. And I just wanted to thank Donna for the pizza. So after we had a weed party, we had a pizza party. And a weeding party, not a weed party. Yeah, not this. So, right. Yeah, no wonder we had a great time, right? So if you want to come join us, come join us, because you will have so much fun. You don't want to miss out on so much fun that we are really having. And we look forward to meeting everybody out there. Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay. That being said, see, look at all the fun you guys have been missing. Go for it. Let's stand up for this one.
Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. Darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
I invite you to sit comfortably in your chair. Just allow yourself to sink into it, as though you're sinking into the arms, the upliftment, the heart of God. Just relax. Be here now. And to prepare ourselves to be fully present, I invite you to take a deep breath in to the very center of your being, that place where Father, Mother, God resides within. And then breathe out fully, knowing that God resides all around as well. And so we bring ourselves to this present moment, knowing that this present moment is our moment of power. It is now. We release the past, we thank it, we let it go, we let it be. We do not anticipate a future anxiously, we simply allow it to flow out of the nowness of the present moment. And so once again, a deep breath in. Allow it to fill your heart. And then release the breath fully, releasing that breath out into the world as a reminder that we are all interconnected in the oneness and the unity of all creation. Each one of us is a unique, individualized creation of the One. And yet in the midst of our diversity, we remain one in the unity of all life. In harmony, peace, in the presence of God and one another. So take another deep breath in. Fill your soul with inspiration, the in-breath of Spirit. And then release the breath to share that inspiration of Father, Mother, God, Spirit with all the world. And so as we come together in this present moment, in the presence, allow yourself to be reminded that we are always, always in the heart of God. And we can always choose to be the heart of God. In peace and harmony, in power and presence, in love. And for this remembrance of the truth of our being and our willingness to live in, through, and as that truth, I am eternally grateful. And so it is, and together we say, thank God within and all around us. Amen. And so we say our statement of being together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, who is perfect life, perfect intelligence, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. You are an individualized expression of God. We are individualized expressions of God.
You can sing on this one. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh God? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. That's it. Now how can I share today, sweet Spirit? How can I live today, oh God? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I live today, sweet Spirit? How can I love today, oh God? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Now, how can I give today, sweet Spirit? How can I give today, oh God? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. I almost got it right.
There you
You're
go.
always changing the words on me.
You may be seated. Or you could stand if you wanted to. Okay. We will start with our core value affirmation. There you go. It's a big one. I'm going to ask you to recite this with me. So you ready? Wow, I don't think you are. You ready? Okay, ready? Here we go. We heal false beliefs and reveal our wholeness and oneness through the spiritual practices of visioning, catching God's vision, meditation, affirmative prayer, spiritual study, giving of time, talent, and treasure, sacred service, and more. Anything can become a spiritual practice when we bring our presence to it. All right. So, as I mentioned, this month, September is always back to school time for me, and so we've all been enrolled in Spirituality 101. And today we finished the class. And as far as I can tell, you're all going to pass. I think it'll be okay. I lost my red pen anyway, so, you're good. So Spirituality 101. So we started out with the 5 foundational teachings of unity. I'm going to do a very abbreviated version right now just as a reminder. God is all there is. I am one with God. I think. I create my life experience through what I think and believe. I pray. By the use of affirmative prayer, we create our life experience the way we want to experience it. And I live these principles, these spiritual principles in my life on a daily basis. And so that's the one we're going to focus on a little bit more, is living these principles in all the ways that we live our lives. And so I happen to believe that we are all called to reawaken to the divine within us, and what I call the explosive power of TT&T, time, talent, and treasure. I believe that's how we live these principles, that we start with time spent with God. We express the talents we've been blessed with, and then we take our treasure, our resources. It may be money, it may be other resources that we share and give in order to support ourselves and others in our spiritual unfolding. When I was a kid, all my little friends had imaginary playmates. My imaginary playmate was not imaginary. I imagined that my best friend was God, and I used to imagine that we walked around the neighborhood hand in hand. And it was a pretty good feeling, I have to say. And it was supported by the fact that we off and on had 2 priests who lived in our house with us. And so, I figured I was pretty special because, as a young Catholic, you're taught that you have to go through the intermediary of the priest to get to God. So I thought, well, that's good that I have these guys handy. So just in case, But frankly, I learned very young, very quickly, that I didn't need an intermediary. And that's how I realized that God was my best friend, my best playmate. I imagined that God and I hung out together and we went everywhere together. And I could talk to God anytime I wanted to. Now, that's not what we were taught in catechism class, but I kept my lips sealed. I didn't share that information because it was a little scary, because you don't know if the adults are not telling you the truth or if they don't know the truth. Either of those propositions are scary to a child. I mean, think about it. The adults don't tell you the truth about God, scary. The adults don't know the truth about God, scary. So I thought, I'm going to keep this to myself, and God and I will continue our good relationship. Now, I tell you that story because I imagine that there are a number of you out there who also had a really close relationship, very clear and solid relationship with the divine as a child, maybe even more clear than you did as you grew up. Because I have to admit, as I grew up, that close relationship with God got a little tenuous at times. And so some of you may have had a similar experience, that as a child it was much more clear, and that you lost your way a little bit or lost that connection a little bit as you got older. And so what I'm inviting us to do is, much like when we talked in August about the Little Prince, that we go back and rediscover that child within that knows that truth clearly and easily and remembers and can reconnect with Father, Mother, God, Spirit in that same way. Simple, clear, innocent, but brilliant. I believe that we have an inherent yearning within us to commune with and to merge with and to be one with the beloved, with Spirit, with God, with the one, with the source of our being. Do you feel that? Do you feel that yearning? Do you feel something that pulls you? I know as a child, I often would have this feeling of wanting to go home. Even when I would be sitting right in the middle of my home, I had this yearning to go home. And I later realized that that yearning to go home was to reconnect in that deep way with Spirit. That's to go home. That's where the real home is. And so I think we're called to do that even when we forget and we feel that yearning pulling us from time to time. The Catholic mystic Meister Eckhart said, "The eye by which I see God is the same as the eye by which God sees me. My eye and God's eye are one and the same, one in seeing, one in knowing, one in loving." Communing with Father, Mother, God, Spirit must be consistent and active in our daily lives in order to really give us that resilience, to give us that steadfastness, to give us that feeling of being centered. And so I ask you to ask yourself this question: can I bring myself into intimacy with the beloved Spirit? Can I bring myself? Am I willing to bring myself into deep intimacy with the beloved Spirit? Intimacy, to be silent and still in the presence of God. To be one with the beloved who is the self of yourself. To be in awe and wonder of the divine and all that is around us created by the divine. To let mind and heart and soul be filled and expand to overflowing. To open ourselves to the intimacy to love without limitations. To place ourselves in that agape, unconditional love that is God. Are we willing to bring ourselves to that kind of intimacy with the beloved? The only way that I know how to do it is to give time. That's the first T. To give time to Father, Mother, God, Spirit. To spend time in the presence of the source of all being. To commit ourselves to spiritual practices that help us to get there. To make that connection and relationship. Meditation, visioning, catching Spirit's vision for us. Prayer, affirmative prayer, being in the midst of that prayer with God, knowing that our prayer is already answered. To be in spiritual study, to continue to study principles of spirituality so that we can live them more fully and more consistently. To be in loving service in spiritual community and beyond. To give of the gifts that we've been given. To be in celebration in community, to celebrate. To be here to bear witness to one another as we move through the transitions of our lives. Not to give advice or to say, you should have done it this way, but to bear witness to the transitions of our lives. It's very powerful to know that someone is bearing witness to our movement of spirituality, to our journey. And to worship. And by worship, I don't mean some of the traditional way that we think of worship, but to be in awe and wonder of all that is around us. I mean, just look. You just look out these windows and say, wow. Imagine how many different hues of green exist out that window, all created by Spirit. You can't count them all. I went on a trip to Costa Rica and I met this guy who had been part of a study where they were trying to count all the hues of green in the rainforest. And they finally gave up at something like 37,000 or something. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the power and presence that can create that? And that's just one example. Just look out there. It's incredible. Better yet, look in the mirror at yourself. Wow, that's amazing. Do you realize every single one of you is a miracle? So this is a different class that I'm going to share with you right now, sex education. Bet you didn't think you'd hear that in church. But think about it. You are a miracle because the chances of a sperm fertilizing an egg are astronomical, and yet it happened with every single one of you. You're here on purpose. Class over. Not going any deeper than that. You have to ask your parents. But imagine, just be in awe and wonder of creation, the awe and wonder of what Father, Mother, God, Spirit is in our lives. You know, consistent connection and communion with the One is essential to our well-being. It makes life work. You know, be in oneness and unity with the Creator and the Sustainer of all life and creation. I mean, we are. You can't help but be that, but it's better if you're conscious of it. Attune yourself as a beautiful instrument of spirit. Imagine that you're a beautiful instrument, attuning yourself to spirit, and then being in harmony with all the other beautiful instruments of spirit. Imagine the music that we make. You know, we're called to allow spirit to guide us and to have its way with us, to have its way in and through and as us, so that we become an expression of the One. We don't do, we be an expression of the One. When we are in alignment with God, we are lifted, we are inspired, we are empowered, we are supported in every way. Giving of our time and communion with God and spiritual practice connects us to the divine energy and flow of spirit, and we are given unlimited support. That is by that great philosopher, Reverend Dr. Susie Shadle. Your life is God's gift to you. What you do with that life is your gift back to God and to the rest of the world. You know, each of us is given unique talents, not to keep them to ourselves or hide them under a bushel, but rather to share them as expressively as we possibly can. We're here to make a difference. We're here to contribute to make the world a better place, to feel fulfilled ourselves, and to transform our own lives so that we can transform the world. We're way more important than we give ourselves credit for. We're way more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. So it's time that we step up and we own that power and presence that we are, and that we share it with the world. And it does make the world a better place. We do begin then to create a world that works for all. Each of us is born with a specific genius that was bestowed upon us so that we can do our part to make the world a better place. All of us have a role that we are uniquely suited for. It's important for all of us to try to find our special gift and discover how we can best express it. And that's by another pretty well-known philosopher by the name of Unknown. I've never understood why people say these brilliant things and then don't tell you who they are. So the question to each of us, the question for us to ask ourselves is, who have we come to be? Who have we come to be? And out of that beingness, what are we called to do? It always starts with be. Be, do, have. Frank Sinatra got it wrong. It's not doobie doobie do. It's be, do, have, be, do, have, be, do, have. Could you write a song for that, please? Thank you. So I'm going to ask you, close your eyes for just a moment. What inspires you emotionally? What gets your passion up? What inspires you emotionally from who you've come here to be? That thing that inspires you emotionally, passionately, how does it fit or match your core values? Is it in alignment with your core values? The things that are most important to you. And what skills and talents have you been blessed with that you can use to serve the greater good, to support that passion? What skills and talents have you been blessed with that you can use to serve? Where and how can you have maximum impact in giving of your service? Where and how can you have maximum impact in serving, in being of service? We are the artisans and the authors of our own lives, and the gifts and the talents that support the unfoldment and the expression of our lives. We are artisans and authors. St. Thomas said, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will bless you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." It sounds harsh, but it destroys the reality of you, the real you, the true you, the authentic you, if you do not express it. No one else can express you. Reverend Susie says, when we are not being authentic, we are not whole, and we walk a path of hollowness. When we are in integrity with who we authentically are, we are whole, and we walk a sacred path of holiness and giving of oneself. Service is a path of awakening and transformation for both the giver and the receiver of that service. You know, amazing things happen in individual lives and in community when we each contribute the gifts and the talents that we've been given. Amazing things can transpire. Service is a pathway of awakened consciousness. It's part of that integration of spirit within and all around us. You know, sometimes we think, I've heard people say this, that they're not spiritual enough, or they've not studied enough, or they're not enlightened enough to be of service. And actually the opposite is true. To be in service is what enlightens you, lifts you up. And so that is a path to enlightenment. And so we create connections, and bonds through service. Bella shared that the connections and bonds that happened yesterday and that happen every Building and Grounds Day are really powerful. We all of us tend to feel that we've gotten a whole lot more than we've given on those days. We may be tired physically, but emotionally and spiritually, we feel uplifted. We feel connected. You know, as we give and support, we're also supported in community. So you can't outgive God. You can't outgive in service. So when you give, you're also given too. It's the gift that keeps giving and gives back. And we're uplifted and inspired and guided and empowered by the presence of one another, by working together, by being together. And there's great satisfaction when we find avenues for expressing these talents through serving others. The poet Rabindranath Tagore wrote, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy." And sacred service is a high and holy spiritual practice that each of us, I would encourage to aspire to. Sacred service is an opportunity to express spirit as love in action. It is love that you can catch on a videotape. You see it in action. Giving of our talent in sacred service builds community and moves love into action. Again, yours truly. I also encourage us to move into a place where we give gratefully and joyfully with a consciousness of generosity, to know that we have enough and more than enough. A tithing congregant shared with me one time, we show our faith and spirit and our appreciation for the community in which we're spiritually fed by giving of our talent and treasure. I enjoy giving in loving service and writing my check. It keeps me connected and committed. So I would invite you to really take some time with yourself, in your heart, in your soul, and give in alignment with your highest consciousness, with your highest values, with your highest beliefs. And give generously. Give generously to your spiritual and your local and your global community, because we are all interconnected. Give from your heart, give from your hands, and give from your wallet. Give where you're spiritually fed and spiritually connected, where you're inspired. Money is simply symbolic of spirit circulation of good in our lives. It's a symbol. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's a symbol. Create yourself. You know, I don't like to say create a budget. I'm not a big fan of budgets, although, you know, we're kind of forced to do one every year here. But I prefer to call it a circulation plan. That it's a plan for moving money into your sphere and back out again to do greater good. So it feels, I don't know about you, but it feels better to me to call it a circulation plan. It doesn't feel, when I hear budget, too often what goes in my mind is a lot of going out. So circulation plan, know that something's coming back. And you know, I've said this before, but I love this idea that in the ancient Greek, the word human means to be the dispenser of God's gifts. So put that in your circulation plan, that you are the dispenser of God's gifts, and God continues to gift to you as well. That's the circulation. It puts us in that flow of God's abundance, giving and receiving and giving and receiving and giving and receiving. Never-ending supply. Practice your faith by giving a portion of your financial inflow, even in these challenging times. Even. In fact, I would say, especially in these challenging times. This is especially the time to prime the pump, to open the flow. Edwin Gaines would agree with me on that one. Some of you know Edwin Gaines, and she would say the same thing, especially in challenging times. Give. That opens the flow of good to you. Because giving opens the flow not only outward, but also inward. If we block the flow outward, guess what? The block is still there for the inward. So start giving a little and expand your giving as you start to build spiritual muscle and start to really trust that you will be replenished. You know, giving of our treasure, even moving to tithing, is an opportunity to experience and express spirit. It's really about spirit. It's not about the money. It's about faith. It's about trust. It's about spirit. It's about the flow. It's about what is the source. And know that spirit is the source of the divine flow. It's not your job. It's not your great aunt who made a lot of money, is going to die one day and leave you a bunch. It's spirit. It's always spirit. And the good news about that is that spirit has an infinite supply, infinite and abundant, filled with possibility. What I would caution you, a couple of things as you begin to give or continue giving or give more. Don't infuse your giving with the energy of obligation or resentment or guilt or shame, because what you will do is invite those negative energies to come back to you. So if you cannot give without giving those things, don't give. Yes, you heard it. Don't give if that's the energy you have. Until you can shift that, hang on to your money. Because it travels with the money and it boomerangs back to you, that energy. Don't give only in order to get. Because this is not a spiritual Ponzi scheme. We leave that to Wall Street. Don't give with the idea that, oh, if I give this, man, I'm going to get something good back. You probably will, but don't do it for that reason. You know, if it feels scary to give from your main source of income, then try this. I've got a little game you can try. Practice giving from what I call, and I do mean this, expected income from unexpected sources. Not unexpected income. I want you to expect income from unexpected sources. Open yourself to receive that flow. And it's an easy thing to practice. You know, I'll give you a couple examples. Somebody buys you lunch for $10, tithe $1. Okay? You go to the store, you buy something on sale and save $20, tithe $2. Somebody gives you a bunch of money or a vacation or whatever, tithe 10% of that. That's something you wouldn't have gotten anyway. You got it. That's a freebie. It's a gift. Tithe on that, and that's a great way to open the flow. And then once you've built some of that spiritual muscle and you feel practiced up in that way, try giving a regular percentage to where you're spiritually fed. Try giving a regular percentage of your inflow of abundance. You want to keep the circulation flowing on a consistent basis. That giving, receiving, giving, receiving, giving, receiving. It starts to build momentum. It's like a flywheel after a while. Woo! Here's something, you've heard that phrase, give until it hurts. I hate that phrase. I want you not to give until it hurts. I want you to give until it feels good, and then give some more and feel even better. And you will. Trust me. When I started out giving, and I was way far from tithing. I was giving a little wee tiny amount. Well, that felt pretty good, and, you know, nothing broke. I didn't get hurt. So I gave a little more. And I'd stretch my comfort zone a little bit. And pretty soon, you know, I didn't stop at tithing. I went far beyond that. And you know what? I still have more than enough. So play with it. And when you get comfortable, push yourself a little. And then you'll have a new comfort zone. And you'll have a bigger and bigger and bigger comfort zone. There's a story about Colgate, you know, the billionaire Colgate, who started giving a little bit and got himself up to 10%. And then he thought, I wonder what will happen if I keep going. And he kept going and going and going and going. He kept getting more money, more business, more money, more. And so he thought, I'm going to give 100%. He gave 100%, and still more came. And he said, I cannot outgive God. I tried. Can't do it. You know, there's an infinite supply. God is an infinite supply, and will replenish all that we need. Giving of our treasure enriches the recipient and the giver and keeps our giving, receiving energy flowing. Giving is a demonstration of faith that we will remain whole, that our coffers will be replenished, and that love for one another is what matters most. And giving in this way signifies that love that we feel for one another. That's also a yours truly quote. So the point is, to live some of these spiritual principles, to live this class, Spirituality 101, is to know what the teachings are, the principles are, the foundational principles, and live them. God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live. To practice meditation, listening to God. To practice visioning, catching God's vision for your life. To pray affirmatively. To use our mind and our feeling, our beliefs, to create the life that we want to live. And finally, to live by giving of our time, our talent, our treasure, to live these principles in all of our affairs so that we might be that spiritual person 7 days a week, 24/7. I guarantee it will be a life well lived and one you will love to live. And so blessings on your journey with the explosive power of time, talent, and treasure. Spend time in communion with the presence of the divine. Find ways to give through sacred service. Give and circulate your financial abundance. And so it is. And together we say, thank God within and all around us. Amen.
This is a church you can applaud in. I like that. Let's give some. If you want more love, give love. If you want more joy, give joy. If you want more peace, give peace. If you want more, give. If you want more, yeah, give. If you want more money, give your money. If you want more time, give up your time. If you want more friends, be your friend. And if you want more, give. If you want more, give. When you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, there's no struggle. It's just a simple fact. If you want to see change, be the change. If you want to have more truth, tell your truth. If you want more gratitude, give thanks. If you want more, give. If you want more, yeah, give. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, there's no struggle. It's just a simple fact. It's just a simple fact. It's just a simple fact, Jack. Woo-hoo. If you want more love, give love. If you want more joy, give joy. If you want more peace, yeah, give peace. And if you want more, give. If you want more, give. And if you want more, then give. If you want more, yeah, give. If you want more, you got to give. Well, now, if you want more, you got to give. Yeah. If you want more, you got to give. Well, now, if you want more, you got to give.
All right, Rob Satori. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So, do we have any little ones? We have children today? Actual children?
No chilling?
Besides you guys? Yeah, okay. All right. So, you know what? We're going to bless them anyway. So I'm going to invite you to bless the children who are not here because they are somewhere. And if you watch, keep watching because on Halloween they're going to be here. You think I'm kidding. You wait, you'll find out. But we also want to bless the children that live inside of you. So really, really do this one with feeling, guys. You ready? We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we see the living spirit in you. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Applaud yourselves. That's great. I'm going to invite our prayer chaplains and ministers who are present to please come forward. David can't. He's a prayer chaplain, but he's running slides right now. But he will be available after service. We've got Reverend Amy coming up. I'm not sure where Reverend Matthew got to. Actually, I think he's in the bookstore. So you could go in the bookstore and pay for a prayer. There you go. But if you want a free prayer, you'll have to see Reverend Amy. So Just know that our prayer chaplains and our ministers are available to you for prayer at any time, but they're available right now immediately after service if you would like Reverend Amy or David to know a greater possibility for you in your life right here and right now. It only takes a moment to know the truth, and they will know it with and for you. So let's thank our chaplains and our ministers for their service. Okay. Excuse me. And I also, a quick reminder, we do have a Wednesday evening music and inspiration service at 7 p.m. every Wednesday night right here. However, please watch for the newsletter, check in. You might even want to call beforehand, because if the weather looks bad, we will cancel the Wednesday night service, all right? So stay safe. You know, you need to make good decisions and stay safe, and we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what the weather is, but there is a good chance we'll cancel it, all right? And this is our opportunity, as we were just talking, to know that we live in an abundant universe with a generous God, and we have the opportunity to participate in that right now. I know many of you send money in. Some of you have something with you right now. What I would ask that you do is that you hold your gift, whatever gift you may be giving, whether you've got it with you today or you already sent it in, or your gift is a prayer or a blessing for this community and the people in it and beyond here. Hold your gift either physically or metaphorically to your heart, and infuse this gift with the qualities of God that most resonate with your soul. It might be love or harmony or peace or presence. It might be generosity. It might be abundance. Whatever that is, please infuse your gift with that energy, with those qualities of God, and know that those qualities of God, that energy will travel with your gift, and it will multiply, and it will bless others far beyond this time and space. And what we ask that you do, we've got lovely people who are holding the offering baskets at the doors on the way out, that you put your gift in there. And if you're not putting an actual physical gift, hold your hand over in blessing so that you can be part of the flow of circulation along with all of the rest of us. And let's say our affirmation together. I'm not sure which one we're doing this week. So David, how about an affirmation together? Click. And there it is. So together, let's say this. We embody God's abundance of more than enough to enjoy, to spare, and to share. All right. Yeah. It kept you on pins and needles, didn't it? That suspense. That was good, David. We practiced that for a long time. Suspense. We like that. We like the suspense. We like the suspense. And, I just want to remind those of you who are on the live stream, there's a little button down there that you can participate in this as well. So please do, and we appreciate it. I'm going to ask you to stand, and we're going to say our prayer for protection together, followed by the peace song. Okay, you ready? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.